Hi, welcome to the Great Margarita Hunt. I'm Jenny, and I'm on the hunt for the very best margarita in the whole world. And if you're paying attention, you'll notice that my words do not sync up with my actions. And why is that? Because we had some audio problems. But today, I want to introduce you to Adolfo, who's also known as Agave Van Go. That's how I met him on Instagram. Hi, how are you?
Hello, hello. I'm excited to be. My hair's a hot mess because I was just running around trying to figure out how to plug in one thing and plug into the next so we could hear each other. But yes, I'm excited. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I started following people on Instagram, about 5 years ago, right before the pandemic. And you were one of the first ones I saw, paid attention to, because you have these really cool graphics that show up, and they always catch my attention. And so I'm like, this is really cool. And he was always connecting with something sometimes that I recognized, because sometimes it might have been classic rock or something that I recognized it right away, and just really enjoyed it. I love that creativity. And then it said agave. So tell me how you end up Agave Van Go. How does that name come about?
So it started out as Agave Tequila Margarita because I thought that was the easiest way that if somebody was looking up online, Agave Tequila Margarita be like an easy search word. And then I was just making designs, and I did one of Van Gogh, and I replaced his head with an agave. And maybe a year after that, some good buddies in the tequila industry. One of them you might know, Rudy, very well known. He was on me like, you gotta change your name. And for the longest time, I was like, I want to change my name because I never really put too much thought into it. And he was like, you gotta be like Agave Van Gogh. And then I was going through my pictures and I saw that I put an agave on Van Gogh's head, and then I was like, let me try. And I was hesitant because I was like, this is probably not a good idea. Because honestly, I thought as soon as the moment that I did that, everyone was gonna be like, oh, really? And I'm like, oh yeah, yes, that's me. But people really loved it, and then it stuck. And then I was like, oh man, and then it's just, and here I am now.
And here you are. So really popular. We miss you if you're not putting something up. Love seeing your work when you do have it up. And so I'm excited to try your margarita. And I'm excited because we're going to try a new tequila for us as well. So I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead, if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and put the recipe up on the screen so we can just see what we're about to enjoy here. You got a healthy pour there. We're going to pour some healthy tequila, right?
Yes.
4 ounces, yes. And we got fresh lime juice, that's our kind of thing, fresh lemon juice, and we got some sugar and water and agave syrup too. So I'm so excited to try this tequila. Now, how long, have you been drinking this a while? Cardenes.
Yeah, so
Cardenes.
I think Cardenas.
Cardenes.
I think it's maybe 4 years now. Man, has it been that long? Maybe about 3 or 4 years. And I think that when I first got it, it was when they had, and I still have their old school bottle. It was a solid black bottle, and I loved it. The problem with it was you can never tell like this. You can see like as it's getting low, the solid black bottle, you couldn't tell. So when you would grab it, it was just kind of like you would shake. You'd be like, oh man, how much is in there? And it wasn't one where you could like shine at the bottom to get an idea. But I fell in love with this stuff because Chris is super, super, super nice guy. And right when I was getting really neck deep into tasting all kinds of stuff, in the industry at least, I was seeing a lot online. They were like, nobody makes a good repo. No one makes a good repo. And then when I had this, I was like, I don't really agree with that. I was like, there's good repos out there. You just gotta find them. And then this always struck to me like, and whenever someone says, oh, a rep, I'm like, try that one. I love it.
I really like it. I just tasted it. I like it. I bet it's going to make a great margarita, and I like using repos to make margaritas usually. I mean, that's going to be usually what I go to if I'm at home. So I'm excited about this. I'm ready. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready. So I got myself, yes, got my limes. And kind of because I was messing around, so I was like, okay, with the size, in lab, I kind of already know what they're measuring out at.
Yes, me
So
too.
my shaker, because I have kids upstairs who are sleeping, is
Yes.
a protein shaker.
Oh, well, that'll work.
Because I
With the
have
ball
my
in it?
stainless
You're
steel
going to put the
shaker.
ball in it?
Well, no. I don't. Mine has a little net on it,
Oh,
right
net.
there.
You got a net in
So
it. I got
yeah,
it.
yeah. So and I was like, oh man, I was like, if I shake this up, I was like,
The
I don't want
kids
to
are going
wake
to
up
know
the
you're having
kids.
fun.
Yeah,
And
and I
they're
was
going to
like,
get up
oh,
because
I
they're
was
going
like,
to think you're
so
doing something fun and they want to be in the middle
yeah,
of it.
and it happens. Yeah, my daughter will wake up. She's like, Daddy, come to bed. She's like, I want you to go to bed with me. And I'm like, okay. And then she'll say something like, get me my like princess socks or something of that nature. Which, oh
Emergency.
yeah,
Emergency. I
oh
don't have
yeah,
princess socks.
yeah. She gets her sleep style from me because she'll go to sleep in a diaper. But now I don't go to sleep in a diaper. But like she like her whole thing's like she's like, I don't want pajamas. I want a like a hooded sweatshirt. That's what I want to sleep in. So she's got like socks and a hooded sweatshirt, just walking around the house, and I'm like, that's me. It's like
Cold, air conditioned on
it'll
one end and snug on the other. So I like that you're
that
putting
is
fresh lime juice in with the fresh lemon juice. I like that.
yeah that like it's so funny because I honestly, and I think you would be a great person to give um insight on this. So it's like margaritas are kind of like everybody makes their best margarita. Everybody like this is the way you gotta make it. This is the way you gotta
Right.
make it. But then it's like if you like look at like the history of it, it's like, well, how did it first get made? What was the first ingredients? Because like at first I thought it was just it's a cool party. I love margaritas.
Yeah.
Trust me, I love margaritas. But then I was like, oh, is margaritas what they would make like when like when the ranchers would be out there, you know how they have like
Right.
ranch water. But I figured I was like, oh, if they had limes, and then maybe that would be like the lime and like the sap from the agave, and then they'd be like, oh, that's how they make it. And I was like, wait a minute, what is an actual like or like a traditional margarita? Because it's not really like a traditional thing. It's more it's just like born out of festivity. So then I
Yes.
kind of like I know a lot of people will make the margaritas. Like some people might use orange juice or whatnot, and
Yeah.
because my background from getting into the whole drinking, like I worked at a nightclub for many years, so like sour mix was always
Yeah.
lemon, lime,
Yeah.
sugar, water. So it was like, and I like whiskey sours before I got into tequila. So like whenever it came to making the added liquid for it, it was lemon, lime, sugar, water, which is like not really something you find in a margarita is
Right.
the lemon. It's like, but I was like, yeah, but if you work at a bar and or at a college bar or at a nightclub,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, when they make the sour, that's kind of like if you were going to make it fresh, that's how you would make it. And then I think that's kind of how I got influenced by it.
I like it. I like it. Oh, I've had some. We made an elote margarita last week and we used lemon juice in it. And one of my favorite margaritas so far was a lemon. Kind of like doing the, what's the lemon with vodka? A what? Lemon drop. But it was made with tequila.
Yes.
And I really liked that. But I like lemon, so.
So here was when I was sitting there looking around online, and I found now it's been a long time since I bartended long time ago, and it was at a really really like just, but I'm sitting there and they were like, oh, a margarita, if you just switch out um, if you switch out the tequila for the vodka, your margarita is now a kamikaze, and I was like, damn, how long have I been not noticing this? And I did it. I was like, oh no. But,
How long did I not know? So what are you going for next? You going the tequila next? What are we going for next?
I'm
the
going
agave.
for
We're doing agave?
the agave syrup. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, I already
1
threw
ounce?
in and the sugar. Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay, I'm going to do the
Yep.
water and the sugar. I'll catch up. So we got 1 ounce of agave syrup. I'm going to throw mine in, and then I'm going to go ahead and use the same thing to pour my water in. About an ounce of water, and that'll help. And then I'm going to put that 1 ounce of sugar in. Is that like a teaspoon? And then, should I mix it? No, I'll wait. I was
Yeah,
going to shake here in just a second. Now the tequila?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes. And
4
I love the way
ounces.
you say it, measure with your heart. I love that. And that's my favorite thing because it'll be like, I'll hit it with here's a
Because you
two
know what I
spot.
just did? I did half ounces. I didn't do full ounces.
We'll do
I just
here's a
realized
two spot.
I'm going to have to. No, I just realized I was measuring with my heart there, and I didn't put as much water as I did
That's
tequila.
okay.
Hold on.
Just let the ice do the work. That's all right.
The ice will do the
Let
work.
the ice do. Yeah.
Yeah, and then a little bit, just a squirt more agave there. We'll bring it back up. There, now we should be even. Yes, that's funny. That's what, you know the tequila ladies, techie ladies?
Yeah. Oh, I love them.
I love them too.
Yeah, I talked to
I
them
think
for so long. They're just, yeah.
they measure with their hearts too.
Yes.
And taught me some good stuff about buying tequila in Mexico. Now, I'm going to go ahead. I am going to rim mine just a little bit, just because I like having a little bit of salt there. And I like that this is like, I'm ready when you're ready. I got a new shaker. I've been showing off now. But mine doesn't do protein.
Yeah. I like having a shaker because when you like shake, but like having this one is like, oh well, it's so much easier. It takes away the fun because you're just like I can just one handed like I'm like okay, like I would look like the most unenthusiastic bartender.
You look like a dad making a margarita. It's a dad margarita, right?
Yeah.
Like you take what, or mom, you take what's at hand. I went ahead and put ice in my glass too.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now.
So tell me about the setting. You're in your basement, right? Or where are you?
Yes. Yes, I'm in my basement.
And this is your space.
Yes, ish.
Do you share it?
Yeah. We got the closet that has all the ornaments and decorations all year round. The dreaded closet that I hate going into. We have the washer and dryer and a section for the kids to play. And this whole basement used to be a whole gym. And then as we had kids, it pushed towards the wall. And then when I had my son, it went towards the wall. And when I had my daughter, now it's like everything's like a wall. And I have like a fence around it to keep them from getting in and trying to pick things up and put them down.
That's funny. Now, I love that. So you got your good mason jar size margarita. I love this. You filled my 4 ounces, filled this up. Perfect.
I love that. I love that. Oh, yes.
Perfect.
Oh, man. I love
Looks
that.
like you've done that before. Here we go. Oh, salud. Oh, yum.
I love it.
You know, I thought it was going to be too sweet, and it is not too sweet.
Oh, I love it because it's got like just a little bit of like an edge to it. And I'm like, yeah.
It's perfect. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
This is, I like this a lot.
Yeah, it's like it breaks the rules because it's like, what are you doing with
It breaks the rules with the lemon and the water and the sugar.
Man, I love it.
You have made a margarita. I will drink that. Happy day. I'm not even sure. I think it's all of it working together. It's not just, I mean, I enjoyed the tequila, I did, but putting the lemon with the lime, with the extra sweetness was just perfect. This is good. So, you know, we have a scale of 1 to 5. So 5 means it's like the best margarita I've ever had. 4 margarita glasses means it's a really good margarita. Really, I would enjoy that. 3 means it's like your house margarita. It's good. You would drink it again, but it's not like what you would necessarily pick out just to have a drink. 2, it wasn't a good margarita. You're not going to do it again. And 1 is so bad we don't want to talk about it. So I'm going to tell you, 4.5. It's pushing a 5. I'm really, like, I don't know. Maybe when I finish it, it'll be a 5.
Yeah, what I love about it, because I like my drinks with some power. I want to cook with some
Yes.
propane. So like it's
Propane.
I love how it's like it's got some power, but it's like you can drink it and be like, oh man, this is pretty cool.
Oh,
And
that is
then in a
easy.
little bit, it's like, oh damn, there was a lot in there.
This easy. I love this. This is my kind of margarita. Oh, well, good. We're going to be
Yeah.
good friends. So tell me
Yes.
about, like, what's the thing that you've done online, either sharing the information you have or sharing your graphics, sharing your designs, that's been the most surprising to you?
The way that it's affected some people, like the friendships that I made is great, but then um, like the way that like I remember being on a rooftop with somebody who we were at a party and in LA after the tequila, and it was just like like sitting, taking some time aside to talk and be like, oh, hey man, we were talking about like Star Wars and things to draw, and the guy that I was talking with he wasn't too sure about like his drawing skill, and I was like, dude, my drawing skill is terrible, and like he got a little teary eyed, and he got like not upset, but like it was like a special moment for him, and I didn't know that I could like affect someone that way, and he was like, you know who you are, and I was like, I don't. I was like, I think I told him I was like, I'm just a guy that wears New Balances. I'm like, I'm just a regular guy, and
That's funny.
when I would see things like that keep happening, like oh, I would be at like a liquor store or beer distributor like in LA, and like whenever I'd be out there for something and like completely off guard, someone's like you're so and so, and I was like oh yeah, they're like can we take a picture? I'm like yeah, and like that like sitting and eating breakfast at a diner in LA by myself, and then someone's like hey you're Agave Van Gogh, and I'm like yeah, that's me. And they're like, can I get a picture? I'm like, yeah, sure. And like,
Oh,
no, my favorite one. Here's my favorite one because I love things to just be completely like, I love fun things, and I just love things to just be like unscripted, just completely crazy. One of my favorite interactions, which is going to be kind of crazy, was at the last event that I went to for Sabor and Couture in LA. There was a guy there, Mike. I think it was Mike. Yeah, and it was great. So the night's all over. Tore everything down. It was the first time I had like a table and whatnot. So broke everything down. I go to the bathroom. I'm at the urinal, and the guy's like, "Hey, you're and go." And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, he's like, "I know this." He's like, "I know the whole bathroom thing." He's like, can we get a picture? Can I get a picture with you
oh
outside?"
my
And I was
God.
like, hell nah, man, we're doing it inside. So like we were taking pictures inside, and people were walking like, what the hell? And I was like, hey,
What are
what's
you
up? Yeah, and
doing?
everyone was like, this. Yeah, I was like, no, we're doing this in the bathroom. And then after we were
That's
done in the
funny.
bathroom, I was
You're
like, we
in
could
the
take another
shot.
one outside. But like, I was like, definitely, we're doing it inside. I was smiling. I was like, yes. And I was like, that's so cool. I was like, ah. So yeah, that would definitely be up there.
That would be it. Exactly. And not realizing the reach that you've had. You didn't know about it till you kind of literally bump into it, right? Where people coming up to you.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is cool. That is really cool. So how long have you been on Instagram as Van Gogh, as Agave Van Gogh? How long have you been on? So when you changed your name?
I would say as Agave Van Gogh, probably 3 going on 4 years.
I was going to say it was at least 4 because I think it's
Yeah,
2020, but we're 4.5 years into when we
yeah.
started the pandemic thing. So yeah, that's when I recognized you. That's cool. And what have you seen change? Like, because obviously when I started the Great Margarita Hunt about 5 years ago when we tried to start like a website and stuff. And
Hmm.
so it was, I thought, what a great time to start something where you go to restaurants right before a pandemic.
Yeah,
They all shut
yeah,
down. Like, what a great time. And so it's kind of evolved over all of this, but it took me that long. It took us 4 years to get on YouTube. Not because you couldn't get on YouTube, but just to get it together, like
yeah.
figure it all out, the
Hmm.
equipment. I had a horrible time. And I paid lots of contract people, like in Upwork and stuff like that. And it was way more complicated than I had. I thought the phone, do the phone. And they say do the phone, but like you saw earlier, even just figuring out the audio, there's more to it. Figuring out the right software and all that stuff. So anyway, it took me a lot longer, but the whole point was I had this app, and you and I think, communicated about having an app a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I finally have the app. It's finally there.
Yes.
Now, hopefully it works, because we did get somebody's review recently, but when we go to it, and we may show it later, but the obviously most of ours are around Houston, but we're in San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, but we also have, I have Cozumel covered. So if you go to Cozumel, I can tell you where to get a margarita.
Yeah.
And so it's like Yelp, but just for margaritas. So we have to get up in the Northeast area and have people who know where to get a margarita on the map, so that when you say, I'm going to go out and have a margarita, people know where to go, so they're not drinking sweet and sour sauce.
Yeah, where I go, me before kids and me after kids is it's like the night is like completely different. Because like now, if I go out, and where I go, at least in Pennsylvania, like places don't carry good tequila, and
that's right.
not many places make good margaritas. Like you're going into like the same thing, so like when I go somewhere, I'm just like, I don't even want to do this. I'd rather just make it at home, because I'm like, I'm paying you for some stuff that really sucks, and I'm going to drink it, and I'm not going to enjoy it. So I'm just like, so I just like, before the kids, I love, like, we would travel all over. I think I have a favorite margarita that I don't even know if the place is still there, but if it is, I would definitely have a margarita there. But it's just
Where's
like,
that?
I love margaritas. Margaritas are one of those things that like, and that's why I love your app, because for me, because I love margaritas, I feel like if you go somewhere and you get one and it sucks, it just like, it really clicks down the moods. Like, oh man, and it might not affect anyone else, but I'm just like, man, I was really looking forward to this.
I totally agree.
Yeah, and it's so then it's like, oh man, so then to see that someone's like, that here's great margaritas, like, oh, this is awesome, and I'm sitting here like looking at everyone like without kids or going out, like, man, you guys you enjoying your good stuff here, yeah.
Come to the house, though.
See ya. Yeah,
Well,
so I'm sitting here with my like
earlier,
4-ounce tequila.
Yeah, like 4 ounce, I totally agree with 4 ounces. That's perfect. I think that's the thing. The bar has been raised certainly over the past year. Like one of the big things, I've shared this a bunch of times, but what I learned was, at home, I don't make a margarita with a tequila I wouldn't sip, right? So that's the big change.
Yeah.
Whereas a decade ago, I'd make margaritas with the cheapest, not cheapest, but like, a tequila, right? Because you were mixing it in a big pitcher, nobody knows. Now I know if it was a good tequila or not. And that's true. Most of the places we go, of course, we have lots to choose from in Texas. Most of them are going to make an okay house margarita, almost surprisingly so. And to me, a house margarita is a little bit like an icy at 7-Eleven. I mean, every now and then you can mess it up if they don't do the Coke right or something, but like it should be okay. It should be at least a 3. But finding something unique that also tastes good, like the elote margarita we tried, or tamarind, or like in Dallas, they have this place called Beto and Sons, and I'm going to try to get in there. I want them to let me do it on camera and see if they'll do it for us. They make their frozen margarita with, if I'm saying it right, with nitro. So instead of water and ice, they freeze it. It's this huge mound of something. They put mango pearls, caviar on top, but it's so good because it's all there. It's not watered down. So like I have these places that I have found, and in Cozumel we just found it was actually recommended to me through CJ Agave has a group. Do you know on Facebook? There's a guy called CJ Agave. We've had him on. And through his website or his Facebook group, somebody recommended this place in Cozumel, and I went, and they have, what all do they have? Tequila Ocho, Fortaleza. They had flights with just primo tequila. The thing is, I really enjoyed that. Like, I have now found the place that I would go back to over and over again. I've been all over that island with places, but this place was great. Like, this to me is comparable. It's really, really good. I love this. This is a perfect at home, perfect margarita. I would totally want to do this again. It was so good. So there was a little bit of a blip there because of my earbud. So I've just enjoyed this margarita so much and enjoyed following you. I want to show some of your graphics maybe later too. We might put some of them up when we put this video together, just because I just think you do such creative stuff. Oh, let me ask you that. Where do some of those ideas, I mean, do you know where they come from? Do you see something and it inspires you, or do you just think about it, sleep on it?
My brain is always on, like, I think of the most randomest, craziest things all the time, like nonstop. Like if I don't come up with a crazy idea, my wife is like, okay, then you're not, something's like, for me to come home with a crazy idea is normal.
Normal.
Yeah, for like I think I just have a very active imagination, and I think what I'm lucky is that I have a very active imagination, and I just at the right time, whenever I see something and I get an idea, right away I go to my phone and I'm like, save this idea and then go back to it later. So I think that's one thing that really gets me is like, whenever, like there'll be plenty of times like you could be with friends and you could like make a joke about something like, and then like, but in that moment I will be like, hold on, and I'll for myself, I'm like, okay, I'll snap a picture. But a lot of the ways that I get ideas is just from trying to experience as many things as possible.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it could be anything. I could be like, I could be changing my daughter's diaper, and I could be like, oh yeah, here's a diaper, and here's a poopy diaper, and and the poop rolls out. I'm like, oh no, and then I'm like, oh, that kind of looks like a chocolate, and then I could be like, oh, and then I could think about chocolate, and I could be like, I could say like, oh, like a chocolate Rolo, oh, Rolo's chocolate, and then I could be like, wait a minute, but Rolo has 4 letters, and there's a tequila brand called Cholo, and I was like, wait a minute, Rolo, Cholo, and then basically I'll be like, I'm gonna make a chocolate bar that says Cholo. It's coffee flavored instead of Rolo, and then I'll be like, oh, thank you for that little turd, and I'm just like, and that's kind of like how it comes about, and I'm just like, oh, thank you for that one. So like, it'll just be random things.
That's random.
Watching movies, hearing conversations, just seeing things. So like, I like to keep my brain and I guess like my soul just active. So it's just like, I like experiencing things. I'm the kind of guy who would get a book bag with just a pair of underwear, throw it on my back, and I'd be like, get on the motorcycle and be like, I'm just gonna figure out where I'm gonna end up, and I would go. Just say yes to everything and figure it out later. Yeah.
That's cool. And artistic, I think. I think that's also part of that whole character. If you encourage it, you want to do that, then you have to give yourself that expression. So you have to be open to a lot of different things so that you can feed it. That's really great. I am excited that we had this time. I'm going to say I'd love to do it again sometime. This is definitely worth.
I want to do it again.
I want to do it again,
I want to do it again. I want to do it again.
I want
to do it again. And but how can I come up with? I don't know if I could come up with another drink because you know what?
I have faith.
Here's what. Here's what I would. This would be great. What if we did one where neither one of us had tried it, but we both try to make it at the same time?
I'm good with that. I do it all the time. Yeah. I make them all the time, and some epic fails. Some epic fails I've had, but I'm open to try.
That is the best part. Epic fails. That's how the Rolo. It's a little turd rolled out. That was a fail. The little turd rolled down. I'm like, here we are. Yeah, no, I love that. Yeah, I would definitely want to do this again. Hopefully
we'll do it again.
We'll get to.
Oh no, for sure.
Yeah,
we'll totally do it again.
But I mean, like, hopefully one day, because from watching your videos and seeing when you interview people, and even when you're like by yourself, like, I would love to have a drink with you one day. It would, and like more than an hour. It would. I think it would be awesome. It would freaking be awesome. It would be so many laughs.
Is going to become to. I want to come to Pennsylvania, and then we do it.
Think about
that.
Now
we can do it before then. I know, but we'll find it.
It's tough. It's tough. Pennsylvania's tough
to find a margarita.
Pennsylvania. It is tough. Like oh man, that should be the Bizarro version of it. You're like, okay, like you could literally do a whole thing about like
How
how
bad it is to
bad
find
isn't it?
tequila.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
well, we've
you're just
tried
like
Alaska. We tried Washington State. I'm trying to think where some other ones were that was like desert, like they just really did not. I can't. Those
yeah.
are some of the worst. Alaska did have the worst one.
Have you done anything out of the country?
Well,
Like
Cozumel, and we've done Mexico.
yeah.
So Cabo, Cozumel, Puerto Vallarta, we've done that. And then I don't have one from, I was supposed to have one from Canada. A friend was actually supposed to do one from Canada, but we haven't gotten that one yet. I have one in Hawaii, but not farther out.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah, I will
farther out.
say the one thing that surprised me was in Japan.
Ooh,
Japan, they love tequila. I was
didn't
not
know.
prepared for it. And I was like, oh man, I kind of wish I had my wits about me because eventually I want to go to Japan again. But next time it's gonna be
Cool.
like, let's do this a little bit tequila related. Like they love tequila there. And I
I
was
didn't
I
know
was like,
that.
really? I thought it was gonna be sake and whiskey everywhere. Which they do
Yeah.
love whiskey. But
Yeah. I
the
totally
the
didn't know
amount of love
that.
that they have for tequila.
Oh, I'm glad you told me that because I've heard Italy is doing more. I know. Do you have Colorado Collective? I don't know if you've seen them. They're doing
Yes.
stuff in Colorado, but they also talk about South Africa where they've had some decent tequila, and other places
Yeah.
they've gone. So I usually follow them to try to find out. But that's a good. And there's another one called the Margarita Connoisseur. I think she hasn't told me exactly who she is yet, so I don't know about it. But she gets margaritas. She's in London. She's all over the place. So
Yeah.
she's actually done the Margarita Mile in Dallas, which is where I hope to go in December. So,
Do you
but I think we could find it, huh?
do you have a favorite? Do you have like if someone said what was your favorite margarita? Like I know mine of all time. Like whether it was at home or at a restaurant
Hmm.
or on a plane. Like do you know what your all-time favorite margarita in that one moment was?
So I have. I mean, they're in different categories, you know.
If you
So
if,
like
if
my
someone had to say, hey, at
all
take one
time.
margarita memory, one
Oh,
margarita where you sipped it and you were like, this is the one right
this is
here.
my. Well, most recently in Cozumel, I went to this place called the Tiki Bar, but they also were the Agave Cocktail Lounge. They're upstairs, downstairs, and they really
I
made,
love that tiki and yes,
yeah, they did rum upstairs, but they had the full bar with everything. And that's probably it comes to mind, it's my most recent, but it was a good margarita. We made it with two different tequilas. I don't even remember. Tequila Ocho was one of them. No, Cazacanes.
oh Cascadas.
Um, Cascanes. It was made. She made a margarita with Cascanes, and it was like primo, right? And then they made another one that was really fancy. So obviously the one would probably be the Cascanes, but I think the other one they made had fig simple syrup and was made instead of like just lime juice, it came with something from Mexico, a different citrus from Mexico I haven't heard of before. So I know that's more than one, but that was probably one of my best experiences with a good margarita, right? But
Yeah.
outside of that, I have like categories, like the frozen one at Beto and Sons, or my house
Yes.
margarita. My favorite house is at a place called Lopez, and I had them on last year. We've been going to this Mexican food restaurant for 20 years. Their recipe's 45 years old, and God rest his soul, Mr. Lopez just died this past weekend, so I might as well mention him. But they make a really good house margarita, right? And the whole family's involved. And again, it's not like this, it's not as good as this. But if you're out having Mexican food and you buy it by the pitcher, it's a good margarita and
Oh
reasonably
yeah, yeah,
priced. So like we buy it by the pitcher there. So I love it. But this is
yeah,
definitely the kind of, if I said a good margarita, this is kind I would want to make for my friends. I'd be comfortable serving this. So I really appreciate this one a lot.
yeah. This margarita to me, it's like the salt that's on the McDonald's fries. Like even when the fries gone, you're like, yes. This for me is the salt that's on the fries. I'm like, oh man,
That
I
is
kind of want that again.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm very happy. And I told you I got a really good price on this. So like I can make some more.
That's an amazing price.
It was. I hope they're putting more out on the shelf, right? So,
Yeah,
so
I think they're
next
getting a
time.
new bottle.
Oh,
Hmm.
they're getting a new
Yes.
bottle. That's what it is. Okay, good.
Yeah,
So
I think they're redesigning the bottle.
that's what it was. Because I thought about it. It's actually a little bit of ways from us to go pick it up, but they didn't have it at any other stores near me. So we went to pick it up, and I'm like, maybe should I be getting more? Because I think they had 6 bottles. So I might
Yeah,
have to go back.
I love it. What makes it even better is that Chris, who owns it, like
Good guy.
such a nice guy. And the funny thing too, getting back to Margarita, was I was at the last event that I was at Sabor, that I had a table at. I was nervous out of my mind, and Chris kept coming over. He kept checking on me. He's like, "Hey man, do you need food? Do you need anything?" And he kept
Oh,
coming over because it was really coming over with like ice cold margaritas. He's like, "Here, man, here," and it was just like he's a super thoughtful guy. He's very very very. I love that guy. He's a good guy.
awesome. So let's look at the next time we do this. We'll try something we haven't tried yet. And then also
Hmm.
maybe a future in Pennsylvania for me, maybe. We'll see how that works.
That would be amazing. That would be
Sounds
amazing.
good. Thanks so much, Guy. I really appreciate it. Agave Van Go. Please go follow him. He does great stuff and makes a great margarita. Salute.
Thank
Until
you.
then, the hunt continues.